Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. We are doing our CYEP Technical Assistance webinar. I do have a couple of things to show you, and we have some numbers, the dreaded numbers to go over. So I took the numbers this morning. They are from all of the program years to date. And some of the numbers aren't too bad, but there are a few of the agencies that need to make sure that they are taking care of some of these numbers. And for example, Albany Park, this is a pretty big number here. We need to get some of those things taken care of. No placements. I know some of you were out of your office and didn't have your paperwork to catch up on, but we've got a month left of this particular program because the name is changing. And I don't know, hopefully Brandon or Nicole get on the call here. Oh, Nicole's on the call. So hopefully one of them can answer what's happening with numbers carrying through, because I know I saw an email from one of the agencies asking what was going to happen if a number carried from one year to the next. So Nicole, if you want to find out an answer from Brandon, and we'll get to that at the end of the webinar, then we can do that.
Okay,
so,
and please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because my home computer has messed up and I had to join by phone. This is my first time doing by phone, but that one question, did a provider ask that, or that's just a general question? Because I need it sent to me an email so I can get an appropriate answer.
It was a provider that sent it to Brandon, and I was copied on it, but I didn't see your name on it. So it was from Yancey. So Yancey, if you want to forward that to Nicole too.
I think I did get that from Yancey.
Okay.
And we had a meeting this morning trying to, because some dates have changed and we're in the process of answering all questions. And I think that question got grouped into the questions in regards to the new application that's coming up. We're taking Q&As for that, finding answers and referencing them. And that came yesterday, but it came through our DHS website. So I think it may have gotten grouped with questions that are being in the process of being answered. So just in case, I'm going to ask for them to send it again, and I'll make sure we post an answer about that.
All right. Okay, I've been highlighting a few numbers here while Nicole was talking, and some of these numbers are just huge. So if y'all need help fixing any of these things, I am happy to get on a one-on-one in a webinar to help you work through getting these numbers down. But we need them squared away by the end of this program year, by 6:30. And we've given you several tools to help you fix those things. So let me pull in test. I'm going to, well, let me pull this over. Oh my goodness. Where did it just go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I happen to be in a customer's profile here, and this is a test case. I'm gonna get out of this one because I was looking for something specific. This is a customer profile, and it has a couple of things that we're going to show you. Just to reiterate, these were already discussed on previous webinars, and the directions are posted on the CYEP partner page. On the progress page, we have some new options for you that you can use to your advantage to close out customers who are no longer participating. And if you weren't on one of those webinars, I'm going to go through this really quick. So you may need to go back to one of the previous webinars to watch this more closely. On here, we have taken out the requirement that Social Securities need to be used to verify eligibility to shut somebody down, to verify them as ineligible. So if you don't have the Social Security number and you need to verify them as not able to be verified, you don't have to have the Social Security number. Then you have some options down here. I'm going to need to get a customer that's in the dashboard that's not verified. So I've got a customer here. We're going to do Charlie Chamberlain. And this customer has not been verified as eligible. I can go to their progress page, do unable to verify on a couple of these pieces. I do not have to complete their Social Security number. I can do this piece here, and then I can save it. Oh, got to do that one. Try it now. What is it missing? Oh. So it's verified not eligible. Now, if I don't have that option, I'm going to go back to this list, and I'm going to get another person, Dalton Day.
Right.
So I can verify that person is not eligible if you cannot get through to anything. The other thing that you can do is pick an in-school or out-of-school youth, and you can select not enrolled, decline to participate, or not enrolled, unable to contact. So these two options are new options that you can use that give you the ability to close out some of those customers that maybe they just never got their application completely done. You were never able to get in touch with them because they flaked on you before you were able to make them eligible or determine their eligibility. So that can be done. So you can clean up some of those two dashboard rows. And then for discharge, if you're needing to discharge customers, there's not that 270-day wait. So you can go to their case status, close the case, and then if you select that case closed option, you have some new reasons that you can select. You've decided not to participate, employed no longer needs service. So all of these options are available, whether you're doing a successful closure or an unsuccessful closure. And you just pick one of these reasons, and then you can move on. So maybe it's you've decided not to participate. We close out that case. It moves them into those rows on the dashboard. Do I have any questions about these two pieces?
Yes, I had a question, Dee.
Go ahead.
Closure. So say you had somebody worksite information in who had employment and you have their pay stub, but you close them before uploading the payroll. Would that still count as successful closure?
You can continue to upload payroll whether or not you close out the customer. It just means that you're not going to be providing them any additional services. You can update the worksite placement and you can update the career plan without needing the customer to be open.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions about this part? All right, moving on. Let me find my customer. Well, here we go. All right, on the career plan for a customer, we have added, we finished the inactive step piece, and the item that is on the agenda to be fixed by next week is another addition. So here, we also talked about adding worksite, and if you try to add it from the worksite placement, it will redirect you to the career plan so that you can add the step in the correct place. So that is a fix that has happened, and I'm very pleased with that because now I know that you guys will get a career plan step entered in there, at least for their employment. So on here, we've got obtain permanent employment. If I look at this step, it gives me the ability to start, and if I make that customer inactive, it will stop the clock. So right now, this customer has had 2 jobs, and in total for their 2 jobs, they have days in subsidized employment of 46 days total in subsidized employment. So we're going to have a running total on the customer's steps for employment so that you can see where they are. I'm going to edit this one, and as you can see, once it loads up here, this customer was put on hold, made inactive. It opened up the inactive date that you can enter when they became inactive. It stops the clock on their 90 days of subsidized employment. It also puts a status in here of when the customer was put on inactive. So then we've got 13 days here. That will become the 46. We're working on the math on this to make sure that they work properly. The next piece that we're going to be working on is that we have unsubsidized wages. And there's a lot of times you put a customer in an unsubsidized wage on the day they begin the job, you forget to take them out, they're in there for over 90 days. The next piece that we're going to do is the date that we remove the unsubsidized wage, we're going to have the ability to add the date for that, and then it will also come down here in the status history. So that's a change that is coming up probably by the next time we have our webinar at the beginning of June. I'll be able to show you how that works exactly. So those are a couple of pieces that we fixed for you very quickly. I'm going to show you about the work sites. I'm going to go back here to one of these other customers. I closed this one out, so I don't want to use that one. Let's try Gray House. If you go to worksite placement or from the tab up here where the big mothership worksite placement, if you try to add a worksite placement from here, you click on the add worksite placement button, then you click down here to add a job. You want to make sure that you're picking the correct program and filter because some of you may have access to more than one program. Then when you add the position and say I want to do, let's go to another page here. Say I want to add Roosevelt University. I add the customer, and when I click on the customer's name, and it was Chanel House, wasn't it? Yes. I add that. What it gives me is this box it redirects me to the career plan. So then I go to that customer's career plan, and it gives me the option to add the job in the right place. If you did not already have a goal for that customer, it will give you the ability to add a goal. And the default goal on this is gain employment. But this customer already had gain permanent employment, so you can select that goal instead of the one that it defaults to. Okay, so then you just go ahead and put in all of the rest of the information as it already was and update the customer service. Whenever if you want to update any of those dates, like the inactive date and the total number of days in the system, if you click on a service and click update, sorry, I'm trying to get to my customer. Okay, if I click on this update service, it should give me the correct number of days in subsidized employment. So if you're wanting to check, just click update service and it will automatically update the number here in this days in unsubsidized, or days in subsidized employment. Any questions about any of these pieces right here? I'll give you just a moment. All right, I'm going to go back to the numbers here. So application status. I'm not really looking at that first number because the applications were started and they just left. But maybe they have some that weren't started early. So this column right here, this first column, just check those names to make sure that you don't have anybody current in that column. We're not gonna talk about those because there's not really much you can do about them unless they are a current customer of yours. But this eligibility review, I've given you the way that you can clear out these numbers. So you need to go in and make sure that you have these numbers cleared out. Some of the ones in the teens I'm not as worried about, but some of these ones that are huge, some of these are huge. So please take the time to clean these out. If you need to meet with me in a Zoom webinar one-on-one, I'm happy to do that with you. It's better to have the help and get it done right than to worry about it not being accurately reflected, so that when DHS needs to do a report, they're going, oh, right, Nicole? Waiting list numbers, the only one that's kind of really big here is this Project Oz number. You just need to make sure that you're not losing those kids on that list. These no placement numbers, we've got some pretty big ones here. And if it's just a matter of you need to get to your offices to be able to get paperwork so that you can get these entered, that's crucial, but we need to try to make sure that that's getting done. So I know I spent some time with several agencies over the last month trying to make some of these numbers look better. And one of the things that we do need to make sure is if there's some anomalies that we need to take care of on a programming level, you need to let me know. And I need as many details about that anomaly as possible, because I need to try to recreate it before I take it to our programmer, and then our programmer needs to be able to replicate it. So if you need to get onto a call with me and say, oh, Dee, I need this fixed, and we need to make sure that that happens. So let's have a chat with a couple of people. Saint Sabina, you got any ideas about why some of these numbers are so high? And is there anything that I can help you with on these? I know Saint Sabina was on the call. Do we need to know where to fix these pieces? I know I muted you, but I allowed you to unmute yourself. So, and I don't see anybody typing in the chat.
Yes, Steve, can you please show us how to go update those numbers?
For the subsidized or the no placements?
No placements, please.
All right, let me get back into test. All right, on the no placements, and if you're looking at your dashboard, the website, I'm going to close some of these other ones here. I think I may have just lost my screen, so. All right, so from the worksite dashboard, we have numbers here, and it says customers with no placements. And we also have customers with no payroll. So these two kind of tie together. If you go into one of the customers without a placement, this is on the worksite dashboard, and you click on that number, it will give you your customers. So Al Bundy doesn't have a worksite placement. What you can do is either A, go through the career plan, which is the correct way to do that, or you can go through worksite placement. So from the career plan, we want to make sure that they have a goal. So we want to add a goal statement. Oh my goodness. My fingers and my keyboard weren't working right just then. It would be career plan. It would be a short-term goal. It would be not started yet. We add the goal, and then we can come down and we need to plan some services. It should give you the option to edit those services, so I'm not quite sure why it's not letting me. On here, we also want to add a step, and on here we want to add employment. Something is not working right. Start permanent employment, we want to add that step. When we click on the pencil to add it, this is where you enter the information for the employment. And I don't know why this is not working properly at this moment. He might not, Al Bundy might not be part of my program, which I don't understand why he's in here and isn't. But that, you add it from this page right here. You have to pick that step, start employment, as part of this program. And he's enrolled. All right, I'm not quite sure why it wasn't giving me any employment. But, okay, so do you have questions about that now? So on this page where the numbers say no placements, that's what you have to do, is you have to add a job for those people. If they didn't have a job, and you're not working with them and they're not doing anything, close them out, because then it'll take them out of those numbers. Any follow-up question to that? Career planner creates the career planner, automatically places the youth in the not placed category. Participant may have recently enrolled and need to complete assigned career readiness workshops prior to placement. That's very true. So there is a potential that they're all brand new people, but your Boys and Girls Club of Chicago, I can't see that you have 137 brand new people that are still waiting to go through career readiness. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, hi Dee, this is Fanny. I don't know if I'm getting feedback and I'm sorry. No, and some of those that we have closed out still appear on the list, but we have significantly did enrollment, and that's what we noticed. So If they are brand new and need to go to career readiness classes, it populates on that as not placed. If they did not finish the career readiness classes or not prepared, we noticed that they were not ready to move on to placement, we should just close them as a final closure or just close that part. How do we close just need placement? Because they may need additional services before we place them.
Yeah, okay, so if you know what's going on with them and can explain it to Nicole or Brandon or Carrie, if you can explain it to anybody, that's great. It's just if you've got anybody from last program year or 2018 that are in there and you don't have any explanation for them, those are the ones that you probably need to close out. Make sense?
Yes, confirm. My mute button wouldn't go as fast as I thought it would click.
All right, and if you're having issues, like I said, if you have any anomalies in there, please let me know so that I can work with you and our programmer to make sure that they get taken care of appropriately. Could be a training issue for all that matter. All right, so now I've got Boys and Girls Club Chicago has 137 failings. Are you on the call? I don't see. And then Puerto Rican Cultural Center, you got 150. This is a big number, and the rest of your numbers are in line. So I know I saw somebody on the call from Puerto Rican Cultural Center. So Kaina, you want to open up your mic, or whoever else is on here with you that could actually answer the questions?
Hi, I'm sorry, I have somebody in the office with me.
Okay, you got to talk just a hair louder.
So can you repeat the question for me?
Repeat the question. You have 150 people on this chart with no placements. So do you know what's going on with your customers that you've got 150 in there?
Well, a lot of our placement sites right now are not open due to COVID, including the people we had working in the airport and through Union League Boys and Girls Club.
Okay, and I understand that, but they should have a placement at least, even if they should have a placement in their career plan, even if they aren't working right now. So if they had a job, if they went to a job, that needs to be in their career plan.
Okay.
Okay. And if somebody from your agency needs to work with me, please have them schedule a time to work with me.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Leadership Development Institute, are you on? Okay, so now St. Sabina and Centers for New Horizon both have 158 subsidized beyond the 90 days. So on the subsidized beyond 90 days, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to give you this. It's on the worksite placement dashboard. It is the bottom row. So these are customers marked as subsidized wages and beyond the 90-day time period. So you only have 90 days for subsidized wages. So if you click on that number, it will take you to those customers who have over 90 days on a job in their career plan. So I'm going to go to Red House. I'm going to go to their career plan and see if they've got a step in here. Let's see if it's in here. So right now, it's showing that they have unsubsidized wage still listed here. To get them out of that row, all you have to do is take out that number. But if you're going to take out that number, give me a week to get the entering the date in there of when they left subsidized employment. Because right now it says that they've got 353 days of subsidized employment. And that's not correct. So, and then the other piece that you're supposed to be doing is checking these follow-up dates. This person could have lost their job on 7/12 of 2019, but we don't know that because nobody ever did any follow-up according to this. All right, so does everybody understand where that unsubsidized wage is coming out? If they're unsubsidized and you know you're done with them, just go in and take the number out. If you're still working with them, they're a current customer, give me a week to get this updated and we'll get it pushed out and I'll let everybody know. All right, any questions about that? You can, do you have a question? Because you've got 31 here, you've got 18 in no placement, I'm sorry, 21 in no placements and then 18 in no payroll. Is everybody comfortable with the payroll upload? Or do we need to cover that at all?
Yes, Dee, please.
All right, so.
Yeah, because I did some payroll uploads and it's still showing numbers. So I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. APAC talking.
Okay. All right, so on here, underneath the thing that looks like a bulleted list, we have the spot where you add payroll. One of the things that you need to make sure that you do is you need to have the placement added to the customer's payroll. So on some of these numbers where you have the really high no placements, even this 29 from Lawrence Hall, you've got 25 with no payroll. Those kind of numbers, once you add a placement to these people, you need to be prepared to put a payroll in. Do yourself a favor and don't terminate anyone, even if they are done with their job. Don't terminate anyone until you have uploaded their payroll, because what happens is they show up on the payroll list if they're not terminated. So let me go back to the payroll. On here, we want to select a project. So that's if you have more than one project, and I'm in as an admin here, so I've got to pick an agency. All right, so it looks here like somebody has uploaded payroll for this agency, which is fine. One of the things that you need to do is you need to pick a time frame. So I'm going to pick 1/1/20, and I'm going to pick to 3/31/20. Oh, it didn't like those dates. 3/31/20. I'm going to download the payroll template. One of the important pieces here is you need to upload it as the same name that you downloaded it as. You cannot change the name because that will put a whole hitch in the get along. So now I have that document. I open it up. And on here, it's giving me all of the different jobs and those dates. And some people may have subsidized wage for these positions. Some of them have some unsubsidized wage. Some of them may not have had any hours. So one of the things that you want to do is clear out the people. So like say that Natasha worked at Testing CYEP Employer for 20 hours for that 3-month period that I just uploaded it for. And then Natasha worked at Double E for 30 hours during that time period. And then Neva Smits worked for 15 hours during that time period. I got a bunch of zeros in here. One of the things that you can do is delete all of those rows that don't have any time in it. And then only upload the people that actually have hours. Because if you upload a 0 hour for Teal House, then that means they have payroll, but it's not correct payroll. Questions about this form?
I have a question. I had downloaded it, and one of the youth who was working during that pay period was not on there. I manually.
Did they have a job on their profile?
Yes.
All right, that's an anomaly, and I need to know about that.
Okay. Well, I typed them in and done the workNet ID name and job site and everything, but I didn't have the job ID.
So one of the things that we may need to do with that is go in and remove them and add them back in.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you and I need to chat after we're done with the call.
Sounds good.
All right. Anyone else?
Dee, yes, this is Tasha. I have two questions for you. One, I have the same issue as the last colleague of mine here, where I had a student on there that I know worked during that time I was trying to upload, but I couldn't find them. They may have been deleted by mistake because we're doing some cleaning up. So can I email you that? I'm not able to, I don't have like a file in front of me right now, but I'll be back in the office tomorrow. So can I email you the name?
Yeah, let's look at it when we can be on the phone together, because it's just easier if I need something and if you need something, then I'm not fighting back and forth with emails.
Okay, that'll work. And then my second question, do you know why, unless we're doing something wrong, why sometimes like what you did there, like if you're searching, you know, the months that you know names should be there, why do the names show up from the last quarters with zeros and the sevens, and you know that that's from the last even funding year, and then you have to manually delete? Why isn't it uploading within using what you know that's in the work sites at that
And
time?
that's a programming question that I don't have the answer to. Let me write that one down.
Okay. And I asked that because I thought maybe we were doing something on our side, but it just continues to happen. I was like, okay, we have to delete a lot of them. And I know they're showing up I could tell that they're showing up from the last time because it's showing up at $7, which
Right. And
program.
I think they may have done that to try to speed up the result of the pull
Okay.
of the download.
Okay.
I will ask, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the reason why it does that.
Okay. Okay. Well, at least I know it's not something that, because I keep trying to fix it. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I did this, and I start playing with it. And, you know, I had an intern helping me yesterday with all of this, as a matter of fact, and she had to keep doing it back and forth. So I was excited for the call that this came up, because I was like, I'm going to ask tomorrow.
Sure. And that's a very smart question to ask. It's just, I think they were trying to speed up the results of the download, because
Okay.
so many people's internet speed is slow enough that if it takes too long, they'll time out.
Gotcha.
And then you never get the report. So
Okay.
it's kind of a half dozen of one, six of another kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. But I'll email you to set up a time to meet about that one student.
Okay.
Okay.
Yancy, email me about yours too, please. Okay, any other questions about the payroll? Once you're done entering and moving people around, you want to close it and save it so that you can upload the exact same file. So I'm just going to close this one, come back in here into the payroll And then you would upload that payroll template here. Remember, it wants the exact same format name that you downloaded it as, so don't change the name when you are ready to upload it. If you need to change it in your system later, then you can do that. Yes, Mary, please. Okay, and then if you have any associated files, the thing that, and Nicole, you can back me up on this one, I believe you guys want stubs that back up those payroll, either time cards or pay stubs to back up that payroll, uploaded in the file upload for the other related files. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
We might not ask for them right away, but we do want them there in case we call for them.
Okay. And then you just hit submit. If you don't submit, you can delete it. If once you hit submit, then I have to have a programmer delete it if you've made a mistake. So please remember to only upload the people that actually have payroll, delete everybody else, because it causes issues for another piece that when we're trying to fix people on something else. So, but if you have the payroll, it's always easy to just re-upload it if we need to fix things. All right, back to the numbers. So we've got payroll in there. We covered subsidized wages. We covered no placements. We covered, does everybody know where to fix the partner contacts? So employee connections or leadership development institute, you got some big numbers on there. You can, do you know where to fix that? I thought I saw you can on the call.
Yes, we do. We had updated all of our folks in that category. I was curious just to go back to look at how many you said were in that category on your report.
I've got, oh, I'm sorry, you can. It's Universal Family Connections. I apologize.
Oh, okay.
You can, you've only got one. It's Universal Family Connection that it has 35. So I apologize for making you freak out right there.
No problem.
And then Westside Health Authority, you've got a pretty big number there too. Leadership Development Institute, are you on the call? Employee Connections, are you on the call? Do you have any questions about fixing that? And then everybody that has some big numbers on this eligibility review, I would expect those to be down next time. I know that Jim Bell from Alternative Schools Network told me that he could not be on the call today, so I will get with him about this. All right. All right. I think I am done. Thank you, STA. I think I'm done. Does anybody have any additional questions? Brandon, the email that you got from Yancey, do you happen to have an answer for him? Because Nicole needed the emails sent to her, but I wasn't sure if y'all had had a chance to follow up on that email from yesterday afternoon. And Brandon, you're still on mute if you're talking to me.
I'll answer. I'm not sure if Brandon is there or not. Yancy, send the question again, and again, we'll get it answered for you. Just send it again, send it to me, and I'll forward it to who needs to answer it.
I'll definitely do that.
Okay. Sorry for any of the confusion. It's a lot going on right now. We have a lot of Q&As coming in, and they're going to 3 and 4 different people. 3 and 4 people are answering the questions. And we're on one accord now, but that question may have gotten caught up in all of the 120 questions that we got at one time. So we need everybody that's answering them, but it's just the point of, did we get this one? Did we miss that one? Did that one get mixed up? Because that's something we can answer right away. And I want to say it was asked but we have someone double checking and checking to see if, because that's a question that that's being asked in regards to the new applications. So I'll
Yeah,
make sure
Nicole,
they
you were on
send it to
that.
me.
You were on that email. It was 4:42 last night.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said I think I've seen it. And today is when we said we had gotten quite a few yesterday, and working on getting with them today. So.
All right. Okay. All right. I've got the attendance up. Is anybody here from Albany Park Community Center? Angel of God, I know you were here because you asked me a question. Centers for New Horizons, are you on the call? Centers for New Horizons, anybody? Anybody? Chicago Area Project? Community Unit, what? Community Unit School District? How about Leadership Development Institute? Leslie Bates? Phalanx? Project Oz? Public Images here.
We here.
SGA is there. St. Sabina, you were here, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. And then anybody from UCAN? Yes. I remember getting that confused. Universal Family Connection or West Side Health Authority? All right. All righty. All right, everybody, we'll be back on the call on 6/2. Watch for the update for on the date for the taking people out of unsubsidized. Wear your mask, stay healthy, stay home if you need to. Be careful if you got to go out. So have a great rest of your day, everybody.
All right, you too, Dee. Thanks so much.
Bye.
You too, Dee. Bye-bye.